What is the meaning of compassion? The meaning of compassion is to recognize the suffering of others, then take action to help. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Richie. Some of you know me, friends and family. I run a website, www.artbyrickie.com. And my life right now is good. It's great because someone had compassion over me. First and foremost, I have to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, and I have to thank my family for everything that they've done to go ahead and help me. They've helped me in a way that I could never be able to repay, but just pray for them is the best way that I could go ahead and help them out. I once was homeless. I lived in the shelter, men's shelter here in New York, and I spent a lot of time on the streets. I was working, but when I wasn't working, I would be on the streets. There were a couple of nights that I did spend outside on a bench in Chinatown, or if not, on the boardwalk in Coney Island. Or I would sleep a couple of nights on the train, passing back and forth, just going along for the ride. It wasn't fun, it wasn't easy, and it wasn't good for my back. It did cause a lot of pain, physical pain. But none of that could compare to the emotional pain that I was going through. I felt alone. I felt lost. I felt abandoned. But all this was just part of a greater story. All this I went through, and I have to thank God that I went through it and that He saved me, because I am the man that I am today because of what I went through in my life. Before I became homeless, I was struggling with alcohol addiction. And my alcohol addiction was really, really bad. When I first started drinking, at first it was just a casual drink here and there. It was just, I would drink to go ahead and celebrate, drink to go ahead and spend time with family, at least, friends, at least those that would drink. But eventually that changed. I wound up going to alcohol for other reasons. Stress because bills have to be paid. Stress because I'm about to be a father. Stress because I just lost my job. I would turn to alcohol, and alcohol had a strong grip on me to the point where I was completely addicted. I would drink early in the morning, and I wasn't a beer type of guy. I would drink straight up liquor. I would drink vodka. Vodka was my choice of drink. The brand that I would drink was one that I would stick to for a long time. Barton, cheap vodka, but it did the job. It suppressed the stress, at least for a moment. It gave me that escape, at least for a moment. I wasn't facing my fears. I was running away from it. I felt like I was going to fail my family. I felt like I was letting down my family because I had lost my job. I had succumbed to alcohol addiction, and finally I wound up being homeless. It wasn't always like that, like I said. And I struggled a lot for years dealing with abandonment issues, dealing with feeling left alone, feeling like I was not worthy. It got to the point where there were times where I just thought to myself, maybe my life would not, maybe this world would be better without me in it. And those thoughts became louder and louder and louder. And I have to thank God for my sister, for my family, for all my sisters, for all my brothers, particularly my one sister. She reached out to me at a point where I was at my low. Her and her husband showed me compassion, extended their hands out and helped me. My life would not be here if it wasn't for their help. I wouldn't be married, have a beautiful wife, and have a strong, efficient job, and have this moment to go ahead and actually talk to you guys. I wouldn't be operating my website, artbyrichy.com. I wouldn't be able to publish books, do book covers. I wouldn't be able to go ahead and create the art that I create. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that I do if it wasn't for them having compassion over me. If it wasn't the love that they have for me. If it wasn't them demonstrating what true love really is. If it wasn't for them demonstrating the love of Jesus to me. I have to thank them. I have to give God the glory, but I have to thank them. I went through so much in my life, and I still continued even after they opened the doors for me. I still struggled with alcohol. I still struggled with trying to hold down a job, trying to seek a job, and then trying to hold down a job. I still struggled with getting away from alcohol. But I continued to go to church with them and continued to pursue a relationship with the Lord. I didn't quit. I didn't stop. I was determined to stop drinking alcohol. But I also knew I had to make changes in my life. I also knew that I had to go ahead and cut people out of my life. I also knew that I couldn't hang out with the people I used to hang out with. I also knew I couldn't be a part of certain circles. I also knew that I couldn't walk in certain directions. I also knew that when I was alone, I could not trust myself. That's how heavy my alcohol addiction was. I've gotten sideswiped by a train in New York. I've blacked out numerous times. I've found myself in a hospital. I've found myself in a rooftop, waking up completely drunk, not remembering how in the world I got to the roof, but at that moment contemplating suicide. I'm here because someone had compassion over me. That's what this podcast series is all about. That's what this segment is all about. Everyone needs compassion. And I cannot start this journey about talking about compassion without telling you guys my story, without telling you guys what I went through, without expressing to you guys how grateful I am and how, I'm not going to say lucky, but how loved I am by my family, by the Lord. I am very grateful. And I thank God for my family because they didn't know how to help me, but they did not stop praying for me. They continually prayed for me. And in the process of my journey and in the process of this segment of this podcast, I'm going to share with you intimate moments of my life, moments where I really struggled, things that I've gone through, things that I did, things that I'm that need repairing, but also things that are wonderful. Out of brokenness, this man has been purified, cleansed, and something new has arisen. And that's what I want to share with you. I want to share with you those moments. And I thank God that I have this opportunity to go ahead and do it. If you find yourself struggling with any type of addiction, alcohol, drugs, whatever the case is, or you find yourself thinking about suicide, contemplating suicide, you're depressed, you're struggling, you need hope, you need motivation, you need something uplifting, this is a podcast for you. This is something for you. I want to share the rawness, the real story, my story with you. I want to take you on that journey. A journey that was very, very tough. Now, it won't be easy hearing some of the stuff that I've gone through. But if you hold on and you listen, you'll understand, and hopefully you'll have compassion over someone who is struggling, who is going through so much. Because of my journey and what I went through in my life, when I take the train ride to head to work, I always come across somebody that's in need. And I'm always reminded of those 3 words: everyone needs compassion. I can literally say I've been in those shoes before. And I want to give you a little bit of a better picture, a better understanding of why it's important to have compassion over others, demonstrate that compassion, share that compassion with others. I hope you guys follow along. I hope you guys enjoy. This is new for me. I like I said, if you like this podcast, subscribe to it, follow along. I plan to do one episode, one podcast a week. That is my goal. That is my journey. And right now I have it set up for Mondays. Will be my new podcast every Monday. For more information, you can go to my website, www.artbyrichy.com, www.artbyrichy.com. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day.